How's it going, guys? All right, well, I'm here. Wait for a little break, get some people in the room a little bit. Maybe I'll get maybe two or three people. So what is this video going to be about? It's going to be about artificial intelligence. And why am I doing this emergency video? And that's because I spent 20 years in the US military. After I got out of the US military, I went into military sales. You could say military sales. I sold everything under the sun, including campers. And I saw how everything really works. Um, Something that also disturbs me is I go to a church, and in this church, a lot of people are college graduates. Something that they really take pride in is their degrees. And the problem that I see developing is I'll ask these young people what they're going to do. What is your degree in? What do you plan on? What kind of job are you planning on getting? And the answers I'm getting are extremely disturbing. I use artificial intelligence to research topics. I use artificial intelligence to help me edit my videos, help me with my tags, everything from highlighting lease agreements or sales contracts to fine tune them to analyzing them with mathematics to a degree that humans can't even come close to. I can take two contracts, place them in artificial intelligence, the free version, and it will analyze these and tell me which one is better for me in my particular circumstance. So I can tell them my age, I can tell them what my goals are, and it will break it down for me. This is very upsetting to me because of how good it is. It's really shocking how good artificial intelligence is. People like my mother don't quite understand this. People that are my age don't understand this. And that's because, well, they're busy. They're busy working. They do not really care about really anything that's going on because they've done a certain thing for 30 years and that's what they're going to stick with. And in most cases, it might work out for certain age groups, but in general, it's not going to work out for these younger people. What do these younger people lack that these older folks have? That's experience. Experience will allow us to navigate this a little bit better than you. We also have skills. Now, what do I mean by skills? Please don't take this the wrong way, people, please. College, unless you're in something like an apprentice program or you're working with a medical department, like you're doing most of your work with a doctor that's actually practicing, something like that, I see those fields as doing rather well. I do have a list in the description. I'm not going to go over the entire list here because that's rather repetitive and something that artificial intelligence could do for you or me. But what I will say is that it is a looming firing or a let go of people. And then a lot of people think that we're going to get this, the government's going to subsidize us or we're going to be able to bounce back. This is the deal. We're in a different world. We were in a world before where you could claim bankruptcy. You could say, I'm not going to pay my credit card bill. It would go to collections. And when it went to collections, you could negotiate if you were intelligent enough, and you would negotiate that credit card debt down. Now, there's people that actually do this for you, and you could actually do it yourself, but they will negotiate maybe to pay 50% of what you actually owe. This is no longer happening. Just like medical debt, these companies are suing individuals like yourself. So if you owe $20,000, for instance, and you've refused to pay it, you will be getting a lawsuit and garnishment of your wages. There's no way around it because we all are part of the IRS system if we are legal immigrants or legal citizens. So they will get you. There is no running from this. Absolutely not. I know an individual that had medical debt he thought he was going to get away with. He absolutely did not. He ran into some money, and $80,000 of that money was instantly taken from him. They know where your money is, and they're going to take it if you owe it. So it's just a different environment. There was a lot of forgiveness, and that's because of the interest rates. A lot of things have changed. I have a few patents, for instance. These patents used to pay an even distribution of what I was expecting throughout the year. That is no longer happening. They're paying me quarterly what I earn that quarter. And at the fourth quarter is when they will make up for that and hit the contractual number that they owe me at the end of that cycle or end of that fiscal year. So that something like that lets me know that the interest rates are really bad. These companies don't have the money to be generous like that, to be convenient, to make me happy. It's more or less, how can we save some money? How can we penny pinch? And the way they're penny pinching is not handing out money that you have not earned yet. Okay, makes sense, right? Any comments on this would be gratefully helpful. I do have a product link. I do have to make some money here, but I advertise things that I like, and these are my headphones. These are the Beats by Dre. I absolutely love them. That helps support the channel. I get a small commission if you purchase it through my link. I have so many of these. I use them for working out. I use them when I built my house. The reason I like them is you never lose them. They're connected to you. You can answer your phone. These are great. They sound great and they come in great colors. I highly recommend them. They are my favorite. My daughter has them. My wife has them. We all have them. We absolutely love them. I've tried the AirPods that get lost, and yeah, I know they beep. Very expensive. They get stolen. Something like this, when you drop it in the gym, is easy to find. That's enough on that. Product links down there, please. Super chats. I want to hit some super chats if you have any value that you've gained from this. So what kind of jobs have I heard that people are going to take? Well, I had one gentleman today, or last week at church. I said, so what are you going to do with that degree that you just had, that you just earned? And he's like, I'm going to go into HR. HR. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right? HR is going to be replaced. Now, not all of HR. HR will not be replaced. Let's say I was an HR manager, okay? I am not going to get fired. And that's because I have something that's called experience. Not experience in that one particular company, but experience in multiple companies. So they'll have me in charge of either training for you individuals, sexual harassment training, all the good stuff like that, because I bring a lot to the table and a lot of experience when it comes to leading people. I've led well over 1,000 people in my career. If anybody wants to comment, I believe I was a nice person to work for because I put my folks first. I didn't really put myself first. I tend to self-sabotage, and it's okay to have a weakness like that. You want to be aware of that, but it's a character trait that I have. I will obtain fantastic success and then I will throttle back. A good example of that is my channel earned thousands of dollars last month, and I decided to just take the month off and work on maybe a vacation that's coming up, my home, or whatever. It's something that we do. You need to know your weaknesses. So what are some jobs that will do well? And I'll tell you how to get in those. But the list of jobs that are going to be replaced are basically white collar and digital jobs are going to be hit really hard. Creative and media fields will be hurt really well. Personal services. So here are the jobs that are least likely to be affected by AI. And I will try to tell you guys how to get into those. Okay. What can you do to like, you're like, dang, now I'm in college. I've done 2 years and I've done 2 years in basic graphic design or entry-level programming or whatever you happen to have done. And you realize, you're being the smart ones here, because the smart ones, if you want to follow the 90%, you're going to live like them. If you want to be the top 10%, you have to come up with a different idea. You have to, something new. Okay. So like when I went into sales, I did it a lot differently than most people. All right. I understood what my customer wanted, and I understood most of all what the person I was working for wanted. Okay. And by bringing that to them, you can make an awful lot of money. Okay. But if I did it like the rest of the 90%, I'd be on salary and I would be broke like everybody else. And my boss and everybody else would profit from me. But in actuality, most people don't bring a lot to the table. It's the 80-20 rule, meaning 80% of your workers do less work than the top 20%. 80% of your workers sell less items than the top 20%. So why do we even keep the 80%? Well, we keep the 80% because companies, it shows movement, it shows it's a larger company, it raises their stock prices, it makes them a more complex company, it gives them tax breaks, it gives them tax benefits, they build sidewalks, they build infrastructure, they provide jobs for maybe people like retired people, and the government loves that. They absolutely love that. They're like, why does Walmart not pay any taxes? Well, have you ever thought because they employ that person that really has no skills and provides them maybe not a livable wage, but some extra money? Because a lot of Walmart employees can't pay their bills. All right. And you and I, the taxpayers, subsidize that. But companies that provide work and a job environment are going to be rewarded for that. Companies that build infrastructure and sidewalks will get huge discounts when it comes to tax credits or how the government treats them. All right, if you produce, you will get rewarded tax wise. If you just have a job like a computer programmer, you go back to your house and you're just typing away and you're making a living $200,000, $300,000 a year, you're going to be taxed very heavily, up to 25%, if not more. Because once the state gets a hold of you, a lot of that money is going to be going out of your hands and be redistributed. And some of that's going to go to Walmart and these huge companies. And you're thinking, that's not fair. I'm trying to support my family. Well, you're really doing nothing. You're working for yourself. You're not just like I have my whole life. You're working for yourself and you're going to be penalized for that. I've never paid payroll. Now my buddy, he pays payroll. So he does get rewarded tax wise for providing a livable wage for individuals because the government sees it as those are 8 people that I don't have to support. And why does the government not have to support those 8 people? Is because my buddy, who's extremely intelligent, provides thinks of that. He's the one that does the payroll. He's the one that makes sure they have health care, insurance. He is like their daddy. Okay. Or when I was in the military, I was in charge of multiple people. I would get rewarded with a higher paycheck. I would get rewarded with benefits and bennies and authority and respect. I enjoyed that. That felt good. All right. All right. So what jobs can you switch to? I will try to help you out here. And you guys might fight this. You might not want to have hands like mine because I did do a lot of hard labor. And you're thinking that hard labor destroyed you. Well, when I was a little bit younger, around my 40s, I throttled back a little bit and I realized that my body was not going to last through this. I prided myself on hard work. And that only goes so far because your body, how you feel right now as a young man is a lot different. You see me, I look healthy, I look good, got a nice suit on, um, with my shirt off, I got a six pack, fantastic. But I'm 50 years old. Do you guys understand that? So at the end of the day, my hands barely work. Like this hand is just killing me right now. I almost canceled this live event because my hand is just shaking and not feeling very well. I've had 4 back surgeries. I've had 3 hernia operations. I've had a right arm that did not work for about a year. It just did not work because of some nerve damage that happened when I picked something up. This is life. This is what your guys are going to expect when you get older. And a lot of people aren't getting this because they don't have a dad to look. They got maybe a mom that's sat on a desk job and they have not been warned about how this is going to affect your body and how you're going to feel later on in life. So here are the jobs, and I'll try to help you out. All right. So jobs least likely to be replaced by AI are electrician, plumber, HVAC technicians, mechanics, diesel mechanics, You're like, well, the electric car industry is going to take over all of this. Trucking is going to be affected through artificial intelligence. They are going to have automated trucks, but we're always going to need um, the individuals that have experience in that field to help with that transition. So all your first line supervisors, your administration will stick around for quite a while in that field because there's a lot of manual labor in that field. So AI can't do everything. Electricians. So how can you get into the electric field? Well, when I was young, you would find an electrician that worked on homes, and you would work with him for free, grabbing his bags, whatever you had to do to learn that trade. How long does it learn? How long does it learn? How long does it take for you to be useful? Maybe half a year. You can start being useful by maybe going under the house, running the Romex or whatever. But there is no, sure, there is a college degree for that, but I really do think that we need, just like the medical field, we need something where people have an apprentice, where we find legal electricians that pay taxes and have business insurance and all that. So we can have individuals that are younger than me work with those individuals in order to obtain those skills. You're just not going to earn that in college. Now, in college, you'll learn the basics on engineering, but you're not going to learn the in and outs of paying payroll and running your own company. Or you can work for something like a larger company and earn fair wage. And that's a lot of money. So you can earn up to $500 a day and have health insurance, benefits, and all that currently in California. Okay. And that's just in the last 3 months. Before that, we had a lot of illegal aliens in the market, and they would undercut everything, taking away the American dream for the Americans that want to do things legally. This is not politics. This is what's happening. When you open a business, for instance, and you want to open up your local boba shop, all right, and then once your boba shop opens up, the local illegals, or I'm not even going to say illegals, the individuals that get away with it, because if I was selling stuff on the street, I would be arrested, absolutely arrested. It is illegal. But for some odd reason, certain groups are allowed to do that. And what it does to a neighborhood is it destroys the local businesses. Well, number one, people don't want to stop at a boba shop that has all that chaos in front of it. And they also can't compete with the individual that's selling things without a license. And newsflash, guys, when you see those carts out here in California and they have all that fresh, beautiful fruit in that display case and they make you that juice drink, have you ever wondered how they do it so cheaply? I have experience. I was homeless for 3 months. They go through the trash. Okay. So these supermarkets throw out their produce before it goes rotten, because the last thing you ever want to see when you go to a supermarket is a rotten pineapple. So they throw these things out well before they're rotten. They're actually, you can actually eat them. There's really nothing wrong with it. And they throw these things out at certain times of the evening. It's almost a schedule because, well, people are on a schedule. And you can go there at maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and go through these trash cans, and they're boxed. You'll have boxes of pineapples, you'll have boxes of bags of oranges, all this stuff. And individuals grab this, all right, and they resell it to you on the street. It's that bad, guys. They'll take an old pineapple. And if you notice, they're never a full pineapple. They're usually a pineapple that's really been squared off. A lot of the pineapple's missing. And that's because the pineapple that's missing is all that brown, nasty stuff that was on the outside of it. You're basically drinking and eating trash. So it's something to think about. Now, do people get sick? No. A lot of people aren't actually getting sick. So maybe they're recycling something that we as Americans throw out. But you are eating trash. Now, that boba shop gets inspected and has regulations to comply to. And they also have like a grading chart. They'll say A or B. And that's because they will get surprise inspections, and someone goes in there, and if they find a cockroach or whatever, you get a B. Clean that up. If it's really bad, they'll shut the place down. Okay. So this is how the market around here has been completely decimated in certain neighborhoods. Now, the area that I live in, when I was in my 30s, I lived much south of here. And then I went all over the world from my 20s until about my 40s. And I came back to California because when my family's here, I have to take care of my mom. Okay. So I have to be here. I have no choice to put up with this economy. People say just move. Well, my mom is in her 70s. She's not moving. And everyone's like, well, she should learn how to move. You're not 70 yet. I don't think you quite understand how you will feel when you're 70. If you move a 70-year-old, they don't bounce back. They just don't. It's kind of like leaving an old dog or a cat for a month long vacation. When you come back, that dog or cat is not doing well emotionally. Okay. So it's just something to think about. All right. So this is not politics. It's just, guys, I'm here to help you. And if you're going to HR, you're going to be really sadly, I know the individual, HR is not going to be there. Okay. You need to have a skill. So we'll go plumbers. Plumbers, another one. HVAC technicians. HVAC, that's your air conditioning, that's your heating. I've done a lot of work with HVAC, and that's because those individuals charge a lot. It's very expensive. So if it's something that doesn't require Freon charging or expensive equipment, that is something that I have learned how to do. And in this economy, a lot of people, I think, will learn how to do these skills. They'll learn how to fix their own AC. It's not very difficult to figure out. You can go on YouTube on how to troubleshoot your air conditioning, and then you get up there and you fix it. Artificial intelligence will actually print you out step by step how to troubleshoot your air conditioning, and it will tell you whether or not you need a professional technician or it's something that you can do yourself. Most of the time, it's something that you can do yourself. Okay. So if you are going to go in these fields, you just can't be a simple technician anymore because people are not going to have as much money and people are going to have more time on their hands and they're going to try to save money by doing things themselves. When I was young, everybody cut their own grass. When I was young, everybody cleaned their own house. Nowadays, even in the poor neighborhoods, I will see housekeepers, I will see gardeners cutting people's lawns. You have got to be kidding me. This is something that you can do on a Saturday. All right. You're basically giving away a car payment at this point. You need to get off your butt, get a little exercise, work under the sun, and learn how to cut your own grass. And this is just another sign of the times where we've imported this slave class to work uninsured. And if these people get hurt, there is no protections for them. And people are getting angry that they don't get Medicare or free health care. Well, there's an argument that they should get it because a lot of people are utilizing these workers and they aren't on payroll. They're not getting a fair wage. You're happy with them doing that. And they're happy doing it because they're obtaining all these different benefits because on paper, they're not claiming everything that they're making. It's a cash run business. I got one comment. I try to always read the comments. Oh, sorry. Move along. Taking forever. Sorry. Okay. So next, welders. All right. How do you get into welding? Welding's pretty hard. Welding requires certification every year. Certification means you'll have to do a weld, and then you'll have someone like myself, an inspector, inspect it to maintain your qualifications if you are working on aircraft. Aircraft welders make a lot of money. It is something that will never be replaced. We will always need people to customize parts, fabricate parts, and weld on them. It is hard, though. That is a very hard job. Even in the military, with all the support, education that these individuals went through, it is very difficult to maintain their qualifications. All right. It is a skilled trade. I'm telling you guys, if you can become a good welder, you can write your own ticket. Okay. It is a fantastic career. You could do it until your 40s, and you wouldn't really damage your body. And while you're doing that, you need to become an inspector at that point. You want to pay attention to the people that are inspecting you and see if you can get to that field. It's a little bit easier on your body and you'll make a lot more money. Okay. Inspectors will never be replaced. You will always need intelligent people to inspect other people's work or even AI's work. Next one, carpenters. Carpenters is a general field. So a lot of carpenters end up being framers. Framers is a very good field because you build homes. And everything is done by the square feet. So when you come, so someone says, I want a 2,000 square foot home made, you're going to charge them per square feet. It's a very easy formula. It's actually really easy to figure out how much you're going to charge someone. And then you will charge them for the supplies that you have. The most complicated thing is running the payroll for your guys. And that's where accountants come in. Accountants, financial counselors, financial managers, they're going to have a different role to play. All right. So you're going to have to expand your knowledge and understand payroll and understand how you can assist these other fields better, how you can show them to make money. Next one is construction workers. Well, general again, again, you don't want to destroy your whole body, but again, you want to learn what hard work is. Hard work is something that a lot of people are not used to. What do I mean by hard work? If you don't understand what a second wind is, you need to look that up. Okay. People that don't work hard don't understand what a second wind is. A second wind is something that it's a point where you get so exhausted that your body shifts over to this incredible feeling of power and focus. And you just, man, you can get so much done. So I highly recommend that you guys at least get used to hard work. Truck drivers, long-term threat, but not too soon due to logistics and safety. I think I just mentioned that. So AI, actually, this is an AI generated list. Okay. And I read through it. I absolutely agree with it. There's nothing that red flags me like I would if I was talking to a college graduate at my church. And the problem is with these college graduates is they have parents that don't work in these fields. So maybe you have a parent that's a computer guy or a pastor or something to that effect, and they don't have the experience like me. I mean, I hear this and I'm thinking, you're not going to be around. You're wasting your time. And when you're young, you need to obtain this knowledge and get your butt to work. When you graduate college, you're already 22 or 24 years old. Newsflash, you're old. You're old. Life is a race. For some reason, people have told you that life isn't a race. Life is a race. There is an age thing. Okay. You want to get married young too. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to get married when I'm 35 because a woman's going to take all that I want. That's like saying I'm not going to get a job because people just take advantage of people. Yeah, some bosses take advantage of you, but most do not. Okay. You need to learn how to make good decisions, pick good people. All right. Pick a good mate that has like values, that respects what you do. And that's where you grow up. You move up, you marry. Okay. If you notice, all our politicians and leaders are married, happily or not. They stay married because that is part of growing up. Okay. So you need to make a wise choice. Observe the red flags. Men and women are different. We have different goals. All right. So I want you guys to grow up. You need to get married. You need to have kids. Once you have kids, it's a wonderful thing because it's going to give you that energy to work a lot harder. And it's also going to make it where you're going to get a lot of tax breaks, tax benefits, because you're adding to the population. The federal government's going to reward you for that. If you're in the military, you're going to get paid more because you're married and have children and dependents. And that's because you're increasing the population. That's going to be rewarded. And it's fantastic. I don't care about my things anymore. I care about my kid. I wish I had more. Roofers, framers, general contractors. Now, personal services. This is women. All right. So if any women are watching this, we got something here. Nurses, nurse practitioners, doctors, physical therapists, firefighters, police officer, military personnel, barbers, chefs, childcare workers. All these things are going to be needed. Now, do you think so? So you're going to have all these people going into childcare. What's going to make you break out? All right. Maybe if you had experience working with children and developing their skills, and you had proof of that, and you could offer that to that daycare. That daycare would say that we have highly trained daycare professionals that will prepare your children for life. Okay. Not, right now, we just have people showing up, maybe smoking cigarettes behind the building and not really doing what they need, because there's a lot more money in other fields, like sitting on your butt and working on a computer, which money's great. And if you can make money doing that, have at it. All right. So, and then another thing, if your job, if it, and it says the bottom line is, if the job, if your job requires original thinking, a human touch, real world interaction, or skilled labor, you're safer. If your job is predictable, remote, repetitive, or text based, it is at risk. So it's just something you guys got to really think about. You guys lack the perspective. Just like I lack the perspective of maybe my mom, who's 70 years old. I'm thinking, you just need to move closer. All right. It doesn't work that way. So I want you guys to work on the perspective, maybe ask some older people. Maybe you don't have a dad in your life. I didn't. So when I joined the military, I actually gravitated towards people that did have parents, because I knew I was missing something. And it's all right to miss something. All right. It's just like, don't say that you're going to make people with no dads feel bad. Come on, guys. You're not getting everything that you deserve as a young man when you live in a single parent home. You just aren't. Even though those single moms and those single dads are working really hard, and I commend them for that, I don't mean that in any negative way. So I don't know if this was boring. I hope it wasn't. I hope that somebody got value from it. And check out the links, product links. If you guys have any questions, check out the description. I put that list there. You guys can go through it. It's pretty much brainless. And you guys can just ask yourself, is your job at risk? And put down what job you have. And if you disagree, put it down there. I mean, we'll go through it. We'll look at it. I'll help you guys research it. And we can go from there. And yeah, take care, guys.